everyone. How are you? Fine, thank you.
Oh my god!
Oh my god. Welcome everyone to another episode of BoyWithUke LORE. Wow, it feels good to be back. Now I know it's been a minute, but we'll get into that later. Right now we've got a lot of ground to cover as the hit artist BoyWithUke, also known as Charley Yang, has come out with a new album that promises to be the end of the BoyWithUke storyline. Or will it? Could this perhaps be the end of one creative project transitioning to the next? The end of a character storyline? The end of an entity the fandom calls Tobi? Well, the music videos and teases for BoyWithUke's album Burnout seem to suggest an interesting conclusion to the BoyWithUke lore, but I'm not so sure if things are really as simple as they seem. Also, before we begin, I'm recording and editing this video before the release of the album. However, it's probably already out by the time this video is posted. So here's my quick take of the album while working on this video's post-production. Alright, after listening to it a few times, giving it a few more playthroughs to solidify my thoughts, honestly, it's better than I expected. Now, of course, it has its flaws. It's not a perfect album. It definitely has some objectively low lows in the BoyWithUke discography, but also has a decent amount of highs. Ghost and Easier are some of my favorite songs of his, maybe even in the top 5 for me. But the album as a whole definitely isn't one of my favorite BoyWithUke albums, and that's the point. This album wasn't supposed to be the next best BoyWithUke album, it's supposed to be a Charley Yang album. He experimented on this album to make it more authentic to himself, which is an amazing step forwards in his music career. The best example I could think of would be Tyler the Creator with Chromacopia and how that album wasn't made for everyone. Chromacopia was made for Tyler, and likewise, Burnout was made for Charley Yang. But that's just my quick take. And now, back to the lore. If you don't already know who BoyWithUke is, he's the guy that created hit songs such as Toxic, 2 Moons, Understand, and a few other songs you may have heard. But most likely, if you're watching this video, you know who he is. But let's take a second to address the elephant in the room. I have a new voice. Yep, since my personal face reveal, I want to be more open and honest with you guys, revealing both my dashing looks and suave voice. Now I know this PNG avatar for myself may remind you of a certain other lore theorist here on YouTube, but he's retired now. So suck it, MatPat. I've always wanted to be a lore theorist and have my own funny PNG cutout. You know how long I've been waiting for this? Whew, I'm about to make a name for myself. In all seriousness, I do want to be more open and transparent with you guys. The last lore video was supposed to come out, well, a while ago, but life sort of got in the way. I ended up meeting someone I really liked and spent a lot of time with, then stopped spending a lot of time with them. I moved out of LA, started hitting the gym, and I got a new job doing assistant editing work. My time was also spent going to a lot, and I mean a lot, of concerts. So I didn't have as much time as I'd like to be working on BoyWithUkeLIVE videos. Honestly, I also didn't really know if I could make another lore video, as at the time, it seemed BoyWithUke was taking a bit of a backseat in his music career. But I couldn't have been more wrong. As it turned out, not only was he making more music, but he's also been hard at work developing something special for us. So no more delaying the inevitable, let's dive right into this video and uncover what's really going on in the world of BoyWithUke, and if it really is all coming to an end. Alright, before we discuss the end of BoyWithUke, we gotta take a look at the beginning of the boy's story. If you haven't already watched the other videos in my lore series covering the story of BoyWithUke, then I honestly don't know why you're watching this one, but I'm glad you're here anyways. I highly recommend checking them out though, but if you also want to recap on the musical career BoyWithUke has had, then I'd recommend a video done by JBLS Productions that I'll have linked in the description. The basic recap of the BoyWithUke lore goes as follows. BoyWithUke wears a mask that made him seem to be in control, feeling comfortable enough in his life as a kid to perform with a ukulele and have more confidence even as he faced bullies and a turbulent home life. However, that mask also represented a lot of the negative thoughts and self-talk that could ruin your own mental state. while also being a physical representation of those feelings. The mask also had its own personality and name, which I theorized for months on and got ridiculed for until my theory seemingly got proved right, in that the mask goes by the name of Tobi. BoyWithUke released a series on his YouTube channel titled BoyWithUke Origins, which fleshed out his backstory a bit more, as well as confirmed the mask itself is named Tobi. Or did it? One of the big reasons why I never finished the lore series to begin with was because of how the last episode in the series ended. I did a full breakdown of the first episode and speculated that Tobi was the voice in the mask manipulating the younger version of BoyWithUke. The episodes afterwards seem to contradict this theory. The final episode ends with BoyWithUke waking up, confirming that it was all a dream. But what's even more damning about my theories for Tobi are little clues hidden throughout the episodes that I didn't notice at first. Not only does this young child have the name Tobi placed on his walls, which in itself would be a bit odd, but also during the second episode of the origin story, we can see a moment where the child's homework is dropped on the ground. The video makes a point to even circle the writing on the homework, which is a teacher's note that reads, "Good job, Tobi." Tobi isn't a voice in the mask controlling the child. Tobi is the child. Tobi is simply a fictional character in BoyWithUke's dreams.
What?
Every single video that has had this child in it, from Understand to Trauma to Migraine and everything else, has all been a complete separate timeline of a child who is not BoyWithUke.
What?
All of my theories, all of my videos were wrong. Sort of. Now, obviously, I never believed an actual voice came from the mask, or that these music videos were one-for-one recreations of BoyWithUke's childhood. I've made a point in every video to make clear that this story is a representation of BoyWithUke's earlier life, and not meant to be taken as absolute fact.
You stupid!
The mask represents his inner thoughts and negative emotions, and the story told throughout these videos is to give a general idea of his life to give meaning to the songs. That's why in many of the videos posted during when the album Lucid Dreams was being released, he seemed to paint the mask in a negative light. In real life, he was tired of hiding behind the mask and wanted to pursue a career outside the realm of BoyWithUke. And the first step towards doing so would be to finally have a face reveal, which he did. On October 4th, 2023, BoyWithUke appeared on Anthony Padilla's YouTube channel in an interview titled, "I Spent a Day with BoyWithUke," with this video being posted just a few days after he performed in LA with the mask on. In the video, BoyWithUke was asked if he would ever do a face reveal, and together they discussed the possible ways to do so.
Think it'll happen, or you think you'll always be like, no.
Well, I mean,
oh shit! You did trick me for a fraction of a second.
No. I think if I ever do, it'll have to be planned. Like
you'll sell out Staples Arena.
If I ever get to that point, that would be insane.
Not a bad idea, and as long as the execution will be better than how Dream's face reveal went, then it's a solid idea. I'm so glad that when I did my face reveal, back when I was even skinnier and more insecure, the responses were really positive. And that's why I'm so glad that on October 10th, 2023, BoyWithUke posted on multiple social media platforms his face publicly. He initially teased his face reveal throughout many of the Lucid Dreams promotional videos. However, when the music video for the song Homesick was released on October 9th, the video ended with an incredibly brief shot of BoyWithUke without the mask. The very next day, he posted on his social media outlets his face reveal with a heartfelt message to the fans, as well as his name being Charley Yang. Feel free to pause the video to read it for yourselves. Ever since that face reveal, during his live performances, Charley experimented more and more with performing without a mask. He announced a new tour, where the first half of the concerts he would be performing with the mask, and then halfway through he would remove the mask as he got more comfortable performing without it. This is a monumental moment in Charley's musical career, as it marked a huge shift. Not only did he begin to experiment with performing without a mask, but he also began to experiment with creating new music without a ukulele, oftentimes going live on TikTok while practicing guitar instead. Eventually, this led to his new tour starting, with his shows now including unreleased tracks at the time that did not include any ukulele at all, starting off with the songs Can You Feel It and Ghost. After the face reveal, we began to see Charley experimenting more and more with a different style of music, changing his branding so as to be more authentic to himself. This also led to a change in the story of the Boy With Uke lore. After revealing his face, his concerts shifted and evolved to match his new branding. During the performance of Bad Things, which is now one of my favorite songs off of Lucid Dreams, Charley takes a moment to bring out a mannequin on stage, with the mannequin having two eyes drawn on and the name Tobi clearly labeled on his chest. Also, wait a minute, hold on. I just noticed while editing the video, he's literally pointing at me when he brings out Tobi because I'm the guy that makes the Tobi videos. I asked him a question about it in the Q&A, and keep in mind, this show's from Sacramento, like months ago. So this is, damn, I never saw this. That's crazy. This is a reference to the music video for King of Nothing, where Charley also brings out mannequins that are wearing past costumes BoyWithUke has worn. In both the music video and the live performances, Charley then proceeds to destroy the mannequins. Not only does this represent how he's moving on from the past, but also represents a huge moment in the lore. He is finally winning against Tobi. Whether he's destroying the negative thoughts and feelings Tobi represents, or the younger version of himself, is up to your interpretation. Whatever the case may be, this signals the end of the Tobi storyline. We even got some confirmation of this in one of the new Burnout tracks, Coffee, as it states Tobi is in France, implying Tobi isn't around anymore.
The song Coffee has a really interesting verse line where I talk about how Tobi is in France. The reason why I wrote that is because as BoyWithUke, the best show that I had ever played, the city with the best crowd was Paris, France, by far. And to me, that was, okay, a live show is never going to be better than this. This is where BoyWithUkeLIVE has peaked, and that is where I'm leaving Tobi. Tobi is the masked entity in the BoyWithUke verse. And yeah, shout out Paris. You guys have really good crepes as well.
As of right now, Tobi is gone. Or is he? We'll get into that later. BoyWithUke also announced his latest album, Burnout, will be the final album in the BoyWithUke discography. That means that not only is the story of BoyWithUke ending, but that also means that it hasn't ended yet. For bit of reference, take for example the story that the band 21 Pilots has been creating. They have an overarching storyline involving a city called Dima that's written throughout their albums, with the most recent album, Clancy, promising to be the end of the Dima storyline. However, when the final music video for the song Paladin Straight released, the video ended with a cliffhanger, indicating that there's more to the story. Likewise, the music videos and teases for Charley's Burnout also seem to hint at a new, continuing story. Before Burnout was released, multiple music videos were released for the songs Can You Feel It, Ghost, and Gaslight. The music video for Can You Feel It doesn't seem right now to be too important for the lore. However, Ghost has a few interesting moments that tease an overarching story. In the music video, Charley is drunk in a bar singing karaoke to, ironically, his own song. While he's singing and getting lost in the alcohol, a blonde woman wearing sunglasses is watching him closely. At one point during his drunk performance, he's seen holding an hourglass, and we're going to come back to that later. After a series of increasingly intense moments, Charley finds himself passed out in an alley. In the music video's post-credit scene, the woman from earlier places a suspicious envelope in his hand, with an even more intriguing symbol on the front. The symbol's design itself seems to be very close to the Adobe stock image of an hourglass logo, but the meaning behind it is interesting. Obviously, an hourglass represents time, but they could also be used as a memento mori. It could be a reminder of death, or perhaps it could be representing rebirth as an hourglass is turned over to represent a fresh start. Whatever the case may be, the next time we see this envelope is in the next music video, Gaslight. Now this music video is incredibly interesting. In this video, we see Charley sitting in a diner, most likely immediately after the last music video, looking for a hangover fix meal due to how dark it is outside. He's opened the letter, which inside has an address on it. The address is 1830 North Sheffield Drive, and the letter also says to arrive at 11:15 p.m. Now this is an insane detail, as a similar address was used well over a year ago in the video The Death of BoyWithUke. BoyWithUke showed up at a doorstep for 1820, not 30, but 1820 North Sheffield Drive, and walked through the front door to find himself face to face with another BoyWithUke. I theorized before jokingly that this might be Tobi, but now I'm wondering if this doppelganger was meant to represent the character of BoyWithUke himself. The reason why I say that is because shortly after being at the diner and sharing flirty looks with a blonde waitress, BoyWithUke himself arrives with murderous intentions. Throughout the video, a chase ensues with BoyWithUke chasing Charley through various locations, also making several homages and references to horror pop culture. The video leads up to a fight besides a flaming shopping cart, which many fans have been quick to point out is most likely an homage to the shopping cart album cover used in BoyWithUke's first ever album, Melatonin Dreams. The fight ends with Charley victorious and the mask burning within the shopping cart itself. This brings up so many questions. Who really was chasing Charley? Was it someone wearing his old mask? Was it perhaps Tobi being brought back from the dead, insinuating that you can never really kill him? When I was writing the script for this video, that's what I initially figured was the meaning behind the video. If Tobi represents negative thoughts and self-image, then it's always a never-ending cycle to fight back against those thoughts, which is the same message that is conveyed through 21 Pilot's story with their fight in Dima. However, after more careful consideration for where Charley is in his life and what BoyWithUke means to him, I think I've come to our final conclusion. At this point in his career, Charley Yang is done playing the character of BoyWithUke. The music video for Gaslight portrayed the character of BoyWithUke being its own separate entity, not only being separate from Charley, but going as far as to be antagonistic towards him. At this stage in his life, Charley is looking to kill off his BoyWithUke branding to pursue a new route for his music, pursuing new stories and working on taking more control of his life. The Tobi storyline may be over, and after Burnout, BoyWithUke will be no more. It'll be Charley Yang making music. I think that this is for the best. Personally, I loved BoyWithUke's music throughout the years, and I feel as if I've grown up along with his music. Who I was when I was 17 years old listening to Melatonin and Serotonin Dreams is incredibly different from the person who's listening to the new music. We've all changed so much these past few years, and I'll always be grateful for the work Charley has done. His music has changed my life in aspects I probably don't even realize, and it even led me to creating this channel and pursuing a career in editing. I don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing if I never went to that first BoyWithUke LA concert and never uploaded it onto YouTube. I highly doubt that Charley will be retiring, but as for me and this channel, my retirement from this channel, BoyWithUkeLIVE, is coming up soon. There's so many projects I've been working on for both my career and for personal reasons, and I can't wait to share some of them with you all soon. But as for this channel, its final upload will be coming soon. Thank you guys so much for watching, and remember, it's just a theory. A BoyWithUkeLIVE theory, and cut.